And I'm Carla Crace, the Empire, and this is.
I am Joe Mutitone, currently a tank sub for the University of Utah Esports team.
Yeah, so we have a pretty exciting game coming up for you guys today. It's University of Utah versus the University of Texas Dallas.
Yeah, it's looking like a great game. This is the first time we've played anyone not in the West region, so we have no expectations going into this. We're definitely into a good show today.
Yeah, so what you talked about, like the West region. So how do you feel about the other regions?
Definitely the West region is the hard region. If you look at all the teams, all the UC teams are, in my opinion, a lot better than anyone in the North, the South, the East. I might get flamed for that, but that's my opinion. So I think for Utah coming 8-2 in the West region, that means a lot more than an 8-2 in the South or the East.
Okay, so with the 8 and the 2, the West region, who do you think the powerhouses are in the West region versus the powerhouses in the North or the South region? Excuse
Yeah,
me.
for the West, we have UCI. UCI is I currently think they're undefeated, or maybe they lost one game, but definitely they're the top dog. Everyone really does not want to play them because they are the best players right now. U Texas is really good too. The people that we're playing today, definitely is not something to joke around with. We're definitely gonna have to bring our best game.
hmm So, have you guys done any research on University of Texas? Like, when you guys are preparing for for your games, do you like watch their previous games, or kind of how does your preparation go?
Yeah, I don't believe we've done too much research on their strats, but we've definitely tried to make up our new strats because if you saw DreamHack, we
hmm
got they ran double statics right into our Pharah strat, and that's why we had to run something new. Our Pharah strat carried us through a lot of the early Tespa, but I think we're gonna have to run something new.
Okay, so along those lines, what have you guys like really been trying to focus on?
Definitely communication. Our comms during scrims are really cluttered. That's something that we got to work on.
hmm
Other than that, just the overall morale of our team. Just working together and making sure our team is as a unit, not six players all on their own.
Yeah, so when you guys are shot calling, do you have like one dedicated shot caller, or are you all kind of making calls?
Dave, he shouldn't be the shot caller because he's a support player, but he definitely is the dominant shot caller sometimes. Dog and Tetrum, they're definitely improving a lot with their diving and they're calling their dive targets. I think definitely that the tanks should be the shot callers, but right now Dave is the primary kind of organizer of all the pushes and everything.
Okay, so then the other support, Kian, is he a kind of supplementary shot caller, or is he mostly just trying to keep everything steady?
Kian is the backbone for the team. Inside the game, he doesn't talk too much, but if you ever look at the kill feed, he's getting kills as Lucio, which shouldn't happen. Um, we're really glad we have Kian on the team. So
For sure, definitely. So let's go ahead and look into the roles really quick for what everybody's going to be doing. So it looks like we've got Flame Turtle and Kian on DPS, and then Tetrapa and CX. These actually are a little wrong. um, because Dog and Daddy are definitely not the supports.
yeah, most likely we're gonna see Flame and Daddy J on the DPS. We're gonna get Tetchum and Dog on the tank role, Dog being off tank and Tetra being main. And then we're gonna see Kian on Lucio, and then Dave definitely on Mercy. You never know though. We could see something different. Maybe a triple tank lineup. But
Yeah,
yeah.
there's definitely been some experimentation as well with people dropping their main healer for like another DPS, especially Sombra, especially on Anubis.
Oh,
Like,
for sure.
so if have you guys been doing that, or have you been trying to stay with the 222 or the triple tank?
I would definitely say an Anubis Sombra is something that we've been experimenting with because it's broken. And on second point, if you play it correctly, it is extremely hard to cap that second point, and it already is 2 point CP, so it's
Right,
notorious for being hard.
right, for sure.
I think also on Hollywood, we might run a single healer and swap in a soldier because
Okay.
of his self heals. Just definitely this patch has been a lot of experimentation. There's not the usual 2-2-2.
Right. So the person who usually swaps the soldier is probably Kian, right? He's kind of known for being really diverse and able to kind of fill wherever needs to be.
Yeah, he's definitely he could be a DPS player. His MMR on one of his other accounts is definitely way more than 3K.
Yeah.
He definitely makes more than 3K plays. But yeah, if we look at the other team, it's going to be a tough match. So some of the MMRs on their team, we have Loon on DPS. He's a 4.2K player. Definitely nothing to joke around with.
But he did get 4.2 on Junkrat. I'm not trying to flame, but Junkrat is definitely one of the strongest characters in the game right now.
Yeah, Junkrat's definitely good. I think you could probably easily get 4K with Junkrat, but once you get to like 4.1, 4.2, you really just have to be a solid player.
All right. That's good to know. So then moving on, we also see, so it looks like they kind of have 3 DPS players, so it's interesting to see who's going to pick up that second support role.
Yeah, honestly, it probably is going to be one of the lower MMR players, probably on the Lucia role. But yeah, I think we're going to be going into the game pretty soon, and we'll definitely be seeing who's going on what role.
Yeah, and our first map is going to be Eichenwald. So what do you expect from Utah, and do you have anything that you should expect from University of Dallas?
If we're running defense first, University of Utah, if they're running defense first, we might be seeing something like a Torbarissa, maybe on the back line on the point on the high ground. And usually on the last push, you want to run triple tank. Eichenwald, you have to really change up your strat depending on what they do. There's a lot of chokes on this map, and it's really hard to break them if you are not prepared for. Yeah, as we do see the Torb and Rissa on the back line right there.
So what does the University of Texas Dallas have to do to break through this Torbarissa defense?
As you see, if they stay on the Bastion,
show them what you can do. I don't like this
Bastion's a very good counter to the strategy, because the strategy relies on Orisa having that shield up at all times. If that shield goes down, the turret goes down, and then Torb and Orisa, both of them are just lackluster heroes. But I think as it goes, I think University of Utah has the upper hand in the draft.
So with the Torbarissa strat, it kind of seems like the other team has to really make a split decision call. They either have to dive that turret or they have to switch.
Exactly. Yeah. As you can see, quite a mistake actually. Lucio was able to get the turret down. That definitely should not be happening early in this fight, but you see Dallas is blowing that red, which is good for University of Utah.
Yeah, the res cooldown is such an important thing to keep note of during these team fights, because you basically have 8 players if you have that res.
Oh yeah, we get the Farah down. He was flying up there with no mercy. Our Torp's going down. Once he still has his turret up, if he doesn't have his turret up, he's really out of the game here.
So it looks like we used our res, and then their Mercy probably is going to have first backup pretty soon. This is a really scrappy fight in general.
Yeah, we see that Dog got up his mech really early. He's still alive in mini Diva. Hopefully gets his mech back before the next fight.
Utah was able to clean it up. We saw UT Dallas just jumping off the cliff, making sure they're not feeding any other ultimate charge and not to stagger themselves. So do you think they should change any of their comp, or do you think that this Farah Mercy is going to work out?
If they play correctly, there are a lot of positions. If you could get on that right side of the point on the high ground, there's a lot of maneuvers you could do to get around that shield turret, but if you're trying to brute force in there, you're not going to get through. It's going to be ugly.
Yeah, definitely. So we see this Reinhardt coming out, and then so we hear that tactical visor coming out from Kian, and this is just going to be such a strong display of defense from University of Utah. Like that was just so dominating and controlling.
Yeah, we only used 2 ultis, I believe. I think we did Tac Visor and Pulse Bomb, but with Pulse Bomb you could get that up in maybe 30-40 seconds if you're a good player. And we do have Molten Core, and we also have Diva Bomb. Molten Core is going to be one of the best ultis right now. It's about, I think it's a 10-second duration, and you just can't even peek it.
Well, we see the Lucio get picked early, and once again that Mercy res comes out so early. They weren't even able to get onto the point before they had to start using that.
Yeah, and also they did use Valk, and oh, they got to the back line. They had a huge graviton. They're not able to kill anyone. Oh, they got the Orisa ulti out of the way. They're on the high ground. This is the correct strategy. This is what they have to be doing. Yeah, and here we go. It looks like the Texas is definitely in the upper hand. Oh, there's definitely a swing with
but
the Mercy
the Flame
res.
Turtle was able to pick up the Mercy. That's such a huge pick. I think that
was-
really turned the fight around for them right there.
Definitely, and also they popped Valk extremely early. Valk was maybe 1 or 2 more seconds in that duration when they got into the high ground. That was the correct idea. That's what I was saying about coming up on that high ground. If they don't do it it's really going to be the university's full hold. University of Utah's full hold.
Definitely. So we see them staying with this comp. They switched the Reinhardt out for Winston. How do you feel about that?
Definitely Winston is much better than Reinhardt. As you can see, he can jump to the high ground where Reinhardt can't do that.
It looks like they were able to get an early Mercy pick with that Torb. I mean, UT Dallas, I don't think they can keep going. They think they have to back out and hope that they can get back on the point in 20 seconds.
They should definitely back out. They're gonna have to get a really quick pick on there, but really quick push. But as you can see, Molten Core is almost up. Soldier's ulti, Valk, and Pulse Bomb, where they only have Pharaoh ulti up. This is definitely gonna be a hard fight for them.
Yeah, the ult economy from University of Utah has been really strong on this defense. We see the Tac Visor get popped from Kian, and he takes out that Pharaoh really early. Mercy's going to have to res that. But she doesn't actually.
Yeah, that's.
She gets the Lucio, but that was such a late res. The fight was already so lost at that point. And we see that Utah's just trying to clean up. University of Dallas just trying to stay in overtime, and that was a full hold from University of Utah.
Very impressive. I think that they had the right idea coming around, but it just because of the ulti economy, it was just such a hard fight to win. And they also popped Valk early because Lucio got picked. If they didn't do those two things, they definitely would have won that fight.
Yeah, and it seemed like they were always being forced. I'm sorry, University of Texas Dallas was always being forced to use their Mercy res so early in those fights. Like they would use it on the approach instead of once the fight actually started.
Exactly. That definitely was something. I was not sure who was playing that Mercy role, but it might have been a little bit of a mistake. You definitely should be popping that Valk like 5 seconds before you're engaging. You should pop it immediately once you're engaging.
Yeah, like it's very important to like keep that like double res tempo going.
Definitely, the double res is it's a game changer. One of the fights that we saw Utah did that, and I thought Utah was gonna lose the fight.
Yeah.
But we got a double res, and then Kian came in with a Tac Visor, and it changed the tempo of the game.
Yeah, I think that you made a good call when you said that they made that really pivotal graviton up top. But like you said before, that res or the Valkyrie was just used too early, and they weren't able to really get anything while the players were in that graviton.
Inside that graviton, it was in a tough position because of that Orisa shield. That's about 800 health that they have to break through, and graviton doesn't last too long. I do believe that if they broke that shield a lot quicker, they could have gotten a little bit more.
Yeah, so with that shield breaking, they probably just needed to like spam it more with like a Bastion,
yeah,
honestly.
If they had a Bastion or a Junkrat, that definitely is the optimal strat against the Torbarissa. They had a Pharah, but the Pharah is getting picked up way too easily.
Yeah, we definitely saw her getting really lit at the beginning of fights, and if she didn't get picked, she was always kind of hiding, and she wasn't really able to peek out and like put some damage in.
Yeah, I think Pharah might have not been the right pick there. We didn't see. I don't think we saw a single rocket barrage coming out of her.
No, I don't think we did. I think that what happened is I thought I heard the beginning of one, but she just got killed immediately.
Yeah, I can imagine that.
It's always just the most tragic feeling when you just really want to rain down that justice, but you can't. Okay, so with switching sides, it looks like Utah was able to just take the point. We didn't end up seeing that.
Probably a first push. We have Daddy J popping off with this amazing stick on the soldier there. We are sorry about that. Looks like they were trying to run a counter Orisa Torb strat. But,
yeah, and they had that Junkrat as well, and that was played by Kirby's, who actually was not the 4.2K Junkrat that we saw earlier. So that's interesting that they had him on that instead of probably moving it over to the person who's probably the most comfortable with Junkrat. But not really sure what happened during that second part, so it's kind of hard to know. But so what's the next map pool that they can pick from?
I honestly, with this dominant win right now, I honestly think any map, maybe a 2-point CP will be a toss-up, but with any escort map, it will definitely be something that I think Utah will come on top with.
Okay, so moving forward then, like, why do you think 2CP is probably where UT Dallas could make a stand?
2-point CP it is just a toss-up. With just the spawns, you have to just get you have to have every single one of your ultis to make even minorly successful one-tick push.
It looks like we're actually going into Lijiang next. So what do you really think that UT Dallas needs to work on in these, because they have 3 chances, and each map is very different. Like, you have to have a different approach to each map within Lijiang. So what do you really want to see from UT Dallas to try and turn this series around?
They're definitely going to have to get some statics. They got to get a McCree or a Soldier in there. Knowing the University of Utah, we're most likely going to be running the Pharah, especially on Lijiang because of the boop opportunity. Definitely with Lucio and even D.Va, the booster, you could boop off like a Reinhardt or even a Winston without a jump cooldown. They're definitely going to have to get a double static to take care of that Pharah, like we saw Arizona State do in DreamHack.
Yeah, so controlling those skies is definitely going to be really important for both of these teams as we move into Lijiang. Because, like you said, that boop opportunity and the sight lines are usually so clear on most of the Lijiang maps. So it really depends on the first map that we see get picked from. And once we see here, both teams running Pharmacy.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a interesting matchup. Pharah versus Pharah. It's all about those direct missiles. Oh, yeah, exactly. We got
Flamethrower able to pick up Kirby's. Their Mercy on Andres has to actually res right there. And once again, that's an early res. And now Andres goes down. And looks like Utah is probably going to just be able to clean up because they have that res opportunity and they were able to get those early picks. But yeah, UT Dallas turning it around.
Yeah, definitely a turnaround. D.Va got out of mech. We were just low health, and our healers got picked up, and that definitely was not what we needed. Looks like Dave was just on point, just trying to stall out, get a little bit more time. We see res on the Tracer. That's about 30 seconds without res. That was a scrap right there. Flame Turtle got some really good direct missiles right there. We should have definitely won that fight, but I think some coordination, maybe the comms weren't there from the University of Utah.
Probably just some target focusing that wasn't really called out correctly.
Yeah,
so let's look at the ults really quick before these teams fight each other again. It looks like the University of Utah is definitely going to have a lot of their ults up, and UT Dallas is almost in the same spot. We see Foxrox come out with his Dragon Blade. He gets 2 early picks. He's able to get Tetrum on Monkey, and then he also picks up the Mercy so that he's not able to res. Honestly, I think Utah just needs to pull out
a little bit of a misplay there with the boop.
With that boop, Utah probably has a pretty decent chance to actually come back. We see the missile barrage come out from the UT Dallas Pharah.
Definitely going to be an even fight right now. We're definitely going to want to see another pick coming from either one of these sides. Will change the fight here. Oh, we get the Mercy down on the UT Texas. Going to be advantage right now.
Daddy J has his pulse bomb though. If he can get it on their Mercy, but able to pick the Mercy, still has the pulse bomb. And it looks like University of Utah was able to really just clean up UT Dallas here.
Yeah, as we saw, Dog just ate that pulse bomb. That could have been really bad. If Dog got out of mech, even if they win this fight, being out of mech is a huge disadvantage going into the next fight. So, and we see a couple ultis both on both sides ready for this next fight. We have Tetrum, Dave, and Daddy J all having their respective ultis. Where oh, that's UT Texas. University of Utah just popped Val. And we're gonna get a scrap right on this bridge. Gotta be careful of the boops here. University of Texas Tracer popped off and got University of Utah's Tracer.
Both Mercies without their Valkyrie now. We just saw the Dallas use their Valkyrie. And it looks like University of Utah is really able to get an advantage, but can Foxrock turn it around with his Dragon Blade? He's able to pick up Flame Turtle, but I don't know, I mean, his Dragon Blade's run out. I don't think he's going to get anything else. Kirby's just trying to turn the fight around. Kills himself accidentally. That was a little bit of a misplay with that splash damage on the wall.
Definitely, if they do not win this fight, it would have been a misplay to use that drop the beat, because that's a very powerful ulti. And if they had it right there, they wouldn't have gotten that triple barrage. Definitely going to see University of Utah winning this fight, and they are up in percentage.
So let's look at their ult economy right now. It looks like the UT Dallas has their Monkey ult, and their Pharah ult's coming up, but they're not really going to have anything for this next assault. Honestly, I think they should try and just run and do a dry run and try and get back in time, because they've only got 14% left.
Definitely, at this high level of plays, it's all about that ultimate. Oh, we get a boop coming off on the Lucio at the bridge there.
That's such a pivotal pick early on, because that Lucio was pretty, like if he had been able to stay alive, he probably would have gotten his sound barrier up during overtime.
Yeah, definitely seeing the Winston come down on the UC of Texas here any minute here.
And we saw the Mercy on UT Dallas use Res and then just get picked off by Flame Turtle.
Daddy J with a nice finish on the other Tracer, and it looks like University of Utah is going to get this first map.
Yeah, UT Dallas came out really strong. You know, they got the point first, and especially on Lijiang or at any control point. Once you lose point at the beginning, it's so hard to come back from that.
Oh, definitely. I'm surprised that they were able to hold it longer. When you win that first point on any of these capture the point maps, you definitely have that ulti advantage, and it's an uphill battle for that losing team.
Definitely. The ult advantage is huge. It's the fact that you can stall fights out longer. Like, the team that's trying to attack really has to come in and just, like, make a quick fight, because otherwise the other team is just gaining more and more advantage, because their point is ticking up in percentage. They're getting more ult charge and then staggering the other team. We're going to be seeing us play... we have a Reinhardt coming out from Tetrum. Let's see how this plays out. They have a double Reinhardt here. A little bit scrap in the middle here. Neither team running the Pharah, and on this point that makes a lot of sense. You know, there's not as the sight lines aren't nearly as clear. It's much easier to pick the Pharah off. And we see UT Dallas running that Junkrat again. And once again, it's on Kirby, so I guess he's just become the designated Junkrat player.
Yeah, I think Junkrat's going to be a big issue for Tetrum here. Definitely going to be breaking that shield way more often than he wants to. Shield management is important, definitely, as any Reinhardt player.
So the University of Utah is running a triple tank here against UT Dallas's Junkrat. I don't really know if they should stick with that.
It's definitely an uphill battle. We're seeing how their strat's working. They're just holding the door, and we can't even bust through. Even as a triple tank, and we're finally getting to this choke, but I think we got to pick up. That's unfortunate.
That's just gonna really kill Utah's momentum, and UT Dallas is just gonna clean them up. Well, looks like Tetrum was able to kill the other Reinhardt, and they go in with a Graviton.
Wow, big Graviton with the Flame Strike coming out. Oh, Kian fragging out. We are definitely going to see University of Utah capturing this point. What a turnaround.
That was an incredible turnaround. I really don't understand how that happened. They lost 2 early fights, or 2 early players, and then we're just able to turn it around with that really clutch Graviton from Flame Turtle. What an interesting decision to make.
We're going to see the Valk and a Graviton coming from the University of Texas, and they are just fragging out. Diva Bomb only catching the Junkrat with a res now on the McCree here. I think it's University of Texas fight. It's their fight to lose.
Dave got picked off early, and he had Valk. I think that really could have turned the tides from Utah during that. But it looks like they're still able to contest. Oh, my bad. They already flipped.
I think here that we're seeing this big shatter. They get that McCree down. The McCree is almost hard carrying the University of Texas side. With that McCree down, they're just fragging out. It looks like they're gonna finish off this fight. Hopefully none of the mech gets out of mech.
What a huge back and forth we've seen during this time. And honestly, but for both teams, the Graviton was the pivotal usage for both fights. Interesting that Utah was able to hold on to the point during that when they lost 4 members so early on.
Yeah, very big that they had at this whole time. They had that percentage and that point ticking up. It was their fight to lose, because even if they do lose, they already got 30-40%. To get this map.
And we can see that Utah has 3 ults now. We see Tetram use the Earth Shatter. And it looks like they're able to get that Zarya off really earlier. And that grab was so big. They put it right on the Zarya that they knew that UT Dallas had to res if they wanted to keep their push. And was just able to get a very clean team wipe.
Yeah, as we can see, this Zarya ulti into the Tracer Bomb, that is a very powerful combination. Let's see if they can get on point to contest this, and it looks like they don't. University of Utah just takes it 2-0, and it looks like we got a 2-0 sweep on the University of Texas.
What a dominating performance from University of Utah.
Yeah.
Do you think that this is the region dominance that you were talking about, or... Oh, it looks like we got Dog with the play of the game on the first set.
Yeah, it looks like he got a boop onto the Lucio. That's the second time we got Lucio's booped off the map. A little bit of a misplay by Lucio, especially with that wall ride ability. That definitely should not be
It's
happening.
almost shameful when that happens.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're Lucio and you get booped off the map, you just kind of like, nobody look at me. I don't want anybody to know that. It's just pretty shameful. So going back to earlier, do you think it was the region dominance? Like, do you just think the fact that Utah is in the West region and is constantly competing against all of these other, like, traditionally just kind of stronger schools, especially like the UC schools, UCI, do you think that that's kind of like forged them through fire, or do you think that just Utah in general was just better? And I know you're a little biased being on the team.
Yeah, I don't know too much about the South region, but the University of Utah, we had to fight for this 8-2 record. We had to get some really tough wins against USC and other UC schools. Not knowing too much about the South region, maybe this 8-2 is impressive from them, but I think coming from the West region, that is the best region.
Definitely. So I think with their next game is actually going to be against UC Santa Barbara.
Yes.
So that's another West school, and they're another 8-2.
Yeah.
So moving forward, we'll see that game in just another bit, about an hour probably. What do you expect to see from that match?
This is definitely going to be the game you're going to want to stay to watch for. UC Santa Barbara, not only has University of Utah played them before in other sports, I think our Hearthstone team played them. That was a very tough game. I was watching that. And let's see if our Overwatch team could pull through and get another victory against I think they're the Slugs, right? UC Santa Barbara?
I think pretty incredible mascot, honestly.
Yeah, it should be definitely something you want to stay around and watch. If we do win this, we're going to have that 10-2 record. Definitely going to secure us a really good spot going further into this tournament.
For sure. Well, I think that's all we have for this game. Stick around for the next game. It'll probably happen around 4 o'clock Mountain Time. So that'll be a very, very exciting game to watch, just like Moody was saying, with both teams coming into the playoffs with an 8-2 record. All right.
Yeah. So definitely come stick around or come back at 4. It's going to be a game you do not want to miss. Both of these teams, I imagine UC won their first game. They're fighting for these top spots, and definitely come watch.
All right. Enjoy the rest of your day, guys.